Hi, and welcome to another edition of Race Stories with Billy and Sam. This is the Argentina Hotel edition. Well, this is a hotel in California. Argentina edition.
But we're talking about Argentina.
We are. So, Argentina was a solid week ago, and it feels like forever. So these race stories are going to be in trouble.
it's like 10 days ago.
Yeah.
We got back like 10 days ago. But all right, anyway, we've had a couple of races since then, so they're probably going to get muddled together. But let's go from the top. Since this is a travel stories, we flew to Argentina.
Yeah, so we flew Delta. There's one flight into Buenos Aires from Atlanta every day. There is one flight from Buenos Aires to San Juan. It's very important. Every day.
You're nailing the...
It's good, right? You like that? We'll go over that story in a minute. And so those two do not line up. So if you are going to this race, you are going to spend a day in Buenos Aires, which was very cool. We took the red bus around.
Any flight stories that you can think of? I don't even remember, so it must not have been...
No, that was, nothing. Nothing exciting. Somebody, there is a flight story.
Okay.
So we got off the plane. This is not the same as, what did we fly? Like premium select or whatever. So we flew, not first class, but right behind it. That was not the same as the pod to Australia. Literally, it sounded like The Princess and the Pea, actually.
It was not the same.
And there's to ride in the back with the peasants.
It was nice. I mean, premium select has the footrest or whatever, and it leans back. I mean, it's nice, but you can't lay down. It's not the lay down seats, man.
Oh man, one of these days I'm going to enjoy that luxury. Today was not that day, but
it was. I mean, it was like a 9-hour flight.
It was a fairly long flight. No, man, it was longer than 9, wasn't it?
Whatever, it was forever. I mean, it wasn't Australia long, but it was long.
Yeah, it's a good ways down there.
So we get out of the Buenos Aires airport, and we're going to get a taxi. And so you got people taxi, and you need a taxi, and we're like, yeah. So it wasn't a minivan. It was like a,
I don't know what to call that thing. Kind of like,
but whatever. They got both bikes and us in it. It was fine.
Yeah, like an SUV light, maybe. I don't know. Weird.
So we get in. We tell them where we're going, and the meter's not going. This should be a sign that you're about to be screwed. If you're in a taxi and you have not discussed a price of where you're going, and the meter's not running, then you're about to get screwed. We get to the hotel and he says $70, which, I mean, that was our taxi ride in Australia. So
yeah, our taxi ride in Australia was like 100 something. It was a similar distance.
So man, it wasn't out of the ordinary.
We got in and I was like, hey man, credit card? He goes, no. U.S. cash? I got that. That's no problem. Okay, we're good. So
this is important. Remember all this.
We've solved this. Okay, so we have a way to pay. So 70 U.S. Yeah, and the Australia cab ride was like 100 and something. And I was like, well, discount for Argentina. Okay, whatever.
We get to the hotel, check in, ask them if they exchange money. Because, I mean, we should have exchanged money at the airport so that we would have had some Argentine money for the cab ride. But we didn't. We asked the hotel, and they're like, oh, yeah, we'll change it out. And they're like, it's we do it at 180 to 1. I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, it didn't sound right.
Yeah.
But
I figured there was a discount or whatever for
doing it in a hotel.
So whatever.
Okay. So exchanged like $100, I think.
Yeah.
$100 got us 8.
We took all of their money for $100.
Yeah.
They had none left.
18,000 Argentinian whatever they have.
Pesos.
Pesos. Okay, so they got pesos. All right, so whatever. We just, it was a Hilton or something. I mean, it was a decent hotel. And we go up to the hotel, then we're like, man, we're dead tired, but we figured out that you can't If you go to sleep when you're dead tired, you wake up the next day.
It's no good.
Yeah, so let's go do something. So we go downstairs and ask.
Billy lays on the bed. Nope. We're gonna go see Argentina. We're in Buenos Aires. We're gonna go see it. It took him 6 seconds to agree with that.
So they have this. It's called Gray Line, right? Gray Line tour bus, like a 2-story tour bus that just goes around all Argentina. You can hop on, hop off, or whatever. And it was like, I don't remember, like US $15, $20, something like that. I mean, it wasn't too expensive. We're like, all right, let's go hop on that. And so we go downstairs. Well, first of all, we tried to do the online stuff. Yeah, that wasn't happening. They really wanted you to online buy the ticket. And it was not working for us at all. So we go downstairs and tell them that, we want to buy a ticket, and they're like, okay, well, they can do it on their computer. So they put it on their computer, and then they told us where the bus stop was.
Yeah.
And we went out there, and we wait, and wait, and there's this other bus that comes by like 3 times. And finally, I think Sam asked the bus driver, hey, is the Gray Line bus ever coming?
Are you guys the same? Or is it the same thing?
And he was like, no. But 10 minutes later, the Gray Line bus shows up. We're like, okay, all right, we'll hop on.
So it's a concrete bench that we're sitting on, but it looks like it's got the pattern of like an interior fluffy thing.
Yeah, like a Victorian bench, like with the cushy.
Really cool, and they were all over Buenos Aires. I don't know how they did it. Like the pattern in the concrete was the pattern of the fabric or whatever. Like they stuck it in concrete and created a mold. It was very impressive.
It was. It was not comfortable.
No, not for as long as we enjoyed it.
But it looked like it'd be comfortable.
It does look nice.
Hop on the bus, promptly go to sleep, I think. I don't know. We're riding around.
We're riding around, and I'm just hearing, like, excerpts every once in a while. Like, I'll hear the lady talking, and then I'm just against the glass. And then hear the lady talking, and then back against the glass. Man, we got to get off this bus.
So we found, as we're making it into downtown Buenos Aires, there's what we think is a protest. It turns out it's not a protest. I don't know, it might be kind of a protest, but I mean, it's tons of people. And they had bussed them in from everywhere. There was all of these
buses from all over the country.
Yeah, in Buenos Aires doing, and they're marching and holding signs. And so we're thinking that
March 23rd, March 28th, something like that. March 24th.
There's some special holiday in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, we should be really culturally sensitive. My bad.
It was celebrating it was a bad period.
Yeah, so they had a military takeover, and lots of people disappeared, or got disappeared. So this was Justice, like Freedom and Justice Day, celebrating those people that disappeared during the dark period.
Which was like the 80s. I mean, it wasn't recently, was it?
No, he said 20 years ago or 30 years ago, so yeah, it was recent.
I mean, but not like 10 years ago. Right?
Yes, not like last week. I'm with you. Yes, long enough.
So we get back on the bus, and all we need to do is get off at our stop. I don't even remember what the number was. Whatever our number was.
Number 3.
Okay, so they stop at number 2, and we're like, all right, well, our stop is next. And they stop at number 5. We're like, I mean, we've been kind of dozing. Did we miss our stop? So whatever, it's free. We'll just do the circle again.
Yeah, we'll do the circle again. This is a brilliant idea.
So we're doing the circle again. And then at some point, the bus driver turns on this road, this little side road or something. I don't know, and he gets stuck.
There's a car parked in the turn lane with enough width, leaving enough width for another car to get through, but not a giant 2-story bus.
And so, I mean, he's honking at that. I mean, the car's just parked with nobody in it. He's honking. He's hoping somebody's coming out. Anyway, finally, he's like, y'all just got to get off. And we're in the middle of nowhere. I mean,
we don't actually know where we are. We're in Argentina. In Buenos Aires.
And we're like, okay, well, we need to get to stop number 3. And he was like, oh, something, you can walk and take a cab.
Yeah, how do we get there? You could take a cab. But I'm on a bus.
I paid for this bus.
Like, yeah.
And they were like, well, your ticket, it's good for 24 hours. You can get back on tomorrow.
Yeah. That's we interpreted 24 hours as it runs 24 hours, and that's not what you should, ingest there. The lesson is...
I didn't know that it ran 24 hours. I didn't think it stopped at 4:30 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it was 5 o'clock, and it was 4:59 or whatever. This bus driver was done.
So we get off, and I think we end up seeing the bus later. I think he had a couple of guys pick up the car.
Yeah, he had some guys help him.
Anyway, so we walk around the corner, and amazingly around the corner is another one of these Gray Line bus stops. Yeah. And there happens to be a Gray Line bus there.
Right there.
Let's hop on in.
Hey, man, you go into I need to go to number three. Just making sure that... So instead of going upstairs on the bus, stayed downstairs, just to remind them, number 3. Got to go to number 3.
And so they're like, we can get you close, but we're not going
They
to
were
number 3.
They were also headed back or whatever.
I don't know where they were going. Wherever they were going, it was closer to number 3, but it was not going to number 3. And they said that because of the protest or the demonstration, they had modified their route. So I think they had cut number 3 out. And the only reason they came to pick us up was because the yellow bus called them and said, hey, man, y'all got somebody sitting at number 3. Y'all need to go pick him up. Because I think that number 3 was no longer on the regular route for that day. And that was why they went from 2 to 5. So if we had just gotten off at 2, then we would have been fine.
It was around the corner. It was very walkable.
But anyway, so he finally gets us closer. And we end up walking. I don't know. We got some steps in. No big deal. But made for our adventure. We had gotten out in downtown and went and took pictures of the protest or demonstration and all that kind of stuff.
So meanwhile, we're on our phones. I feel like we should just go ahead and explain the whole Blu-ray now.
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray. Oh yeah.
So we're on our phones, and the exchange rate should be 115 to 1. So instead of getting 100, we received 180 to 1. We were supposed to get 115 to 1, and we're like, sweet. These guys don't know what an exchange rate is.
Let's do this again.
We go down there with another $100. Let's play this game again. And he's like, man, I'm sorry, I don't have any change.
But maybe in the morning we'll have it.
Yeah.
And
so the next morning we go down there with $100, and sure enough, more money, yeah.
18,000 should have been given us 11,500 would have been perfect. Which I mean, for a hotel, probably 10,000.
Yeah,
would have normally, but they gave us 18,000, and we're like,
sweet.
All right, we just got over on this hotel.
So let's
get out of here before we know.
Before somebody figures this out. We found out later that they have what they call the blue rate. If you're going to Argentina, you should look up the blue rate and bring cash. Cash is still U.S. currency. U.S. cash is king. The inflation is so high that U.S. dollars are like savings bonds for them.
And they pay extra for them.
So they pay extra. So in the actual blue rate, he said it was like 201 to 1. So the hotel was actually taking their little discount, their VIG, but they were taking it out of the blue rate, so everybody was happy. So very interesting. So then, right, off of what you expect to pay or what you would pay with a credit card, there's an imputed discount from the blue rate. So it paid to pay in cash or in
right. So
pesos.
Let's talk about this. The 115 to 1 is the official rate, but none of the citizens of Argentina can get that rate.
Yes.
But they want to purchase American dollars as their savings bonds or whatever. So that's why the blue rate is higher, because they're willing to pay more because they can't get the official rate. If you pay for something with your credit card, you get the official rate,
Correct.
which is 115 to 1. If you pay for it in cash, you get the better rate, which for us was 180 to 1 instead of the 115 to 1. So that's where the discount comes in. You're better off paying cash, taking American cash and paying and exchanging for the blue rate or close to the blue rate, and then paying for cash, because then you get a discount on everything.
So that night, Billy was beat. I actually got some sleep on the airplane because I've been accustomed to sleeping in the back.
Yeah.
So he was done. He was out. We go back to the hotel. I was like, all right, man, we're in Argentina. Beef is kind of a thing here. We're gonna go have a steak. And he's like, you're gonna go have a steak.
I'm going to this bed right here, and we're going to sleep.
So he's he's out. I mean, he's done. So I go and I'm searching steakhouses. Nothing opens until late in Argentina. It's better in Buenos Aires than it is in San Juan, but not early. So I found the earliest opening steakhouse and went there and had a massive, it was a filet mignon. It's really what it was. Thick, huge, and with everything, $15.
How'd you do in the race?
I was 81st out of 88 for my age group, so I was feeling that steak.
The steak was
delicious.
good. Okay.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. So if you're racing, a steak doesn't help. A giant, I mean, it's massive. So yeah, it's in the U.S. That's a $200 steak all day long. Walking around Buenos Aires, all of the crowds have left at that point, and they're all kind of. So it's getting a little bit busy. It's like, we're in the city. I don't really know. We go back to the old hotel. So ask the hotel, hey, we need to go back to the airport in the morning. Can you get us a cab? Yeah, sure, no problem. How much should that cost? What was it, 1,800 pesos a piece? Or
yeah, they said 1,800 because we asked for the shuttle, and they were like, we can arrange the shuttle.
Yeah.
And it's how much is that? And they said domestic or international, and we said domestic because we were flying from Buenos Aires to San Juan. Apparently, there's two different airports, but we thought that anyways, we said it was 1,800, so we thought, all right, 1,800 a piece, no big deal. All right. And we're adding that up in our head, and we're like, we just paid $70 to get here.
Yeah, or $20 to get home, or $20 to get back.
Yeah. So what's so anyway, mind you, we don't at this point. We still don't know that cash is king. We don't find this out until we get to San Juan. But anyway, we're like, okay, 1,800 a piece. All right, well that's 30. I mean, on the standard rate, the correct rate, that'd be $36. We're like, all right, well, we paid too much to get here, but we didn't get screwed.
Yeah.
And then, so we get up the next morning, and good for the hotel, because the breakfast started at 7, and we needed to leave by 6. The hotel had a sack breakfast for us, and it was a taxi. I mean, it wasn't a shuttle; it was the taxi that was waiting outside. And so he asked where we were going. He confirmed where we were going, and we said, the airport. Easy E is where we're getting, and he's on the phone talking to somebody, texting.
Of note, neither of us speak Spanish. That's important because neither of us speak Spanish in an entirely Spanish-speaking country. But sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's a very Spanish-speaking country. This is not Spain or
the airport, the hotel, the cab driver. We were able to communicate enough to where but yes, we communicated just fine, and we did just fine, not speaking any Spanish whatsoever.
Did fine. I wouldn't say that we did good.
Yes.
People were very patient with us.
Yes.
Because we had American cash.
Probably.
So anyway, so we hop in the cab, and he's talking. He's like, and you can see his text, and he's at 2,500. So we finally figure out that the 1,800 was for this other airport, 2,500 to go to Easy East. So now we're thinking, all right, $25 a piece. $50. We didn't really get that.
Yeah, that was really not that bad.
We didn't really get that screwed. And so we get there, and we're asking him, do you want pesos or American cash? And he was like, he said either one, whatever you want to pay. And we had plenty of American cash. We didn't want to give up our pesos, which was a mistake. But,
yeah.
So how much? 25. So we gave him $25, and we're walking to the airport, and we're like, yeah, we really did get screwed. We got screwed on the airport over there. So, it was.
Get your rate ahead of time. It's literally the lesson there. It's okay.
And the 2,500 pesos. I mean, if we would have paid him in pesos, that would have been for us, $15 or whatever it was. So we really, really got screwed. But anyway, got to the airport. Go into the airport, check in. We're flying Aerolíneas Argentina or something like that.
Yes.
Not Delta. I mean, it is a SkyTeam brand. But we go check in with them, and we had gotten there pretty early because we didn't know, and there was nobody in line. I mean, we were the only two people in line, and so we walk out. They do our stuff. they take our bags, they send us to security. Which I mean, they didn't charge us for the bikes, which was sweet because we were wondering if they would.
Yeah.
So we leave the counter, we go through security. They look at go to the security door. They look at our ticket and they point to this direction. Whatever, it didn't matter.
Go left or right. We went
right. We weren't paying any attention to this, but this becomes important later. We go through security and we go down, and there's like 4 gates. I mean, like
not actual gates, like 4 waiting areas with numbers. So it reminded me a lot of the airports before now, right? Airports used to not be great, right? Where you just were shoveled in a thing. Yeah, it was concrete walls. I mean, whatever, it's clean. So there's nothing wrong with it, but it reminded me a lot of like 80s airport.
It was not nice. I mean, it wasn't a dump, but it was not nice.
It was fine. It was clean. It was actually fairly new. Carpet's fine. It's just not nice, and I don't.
It had like one little snack stand at the end, one set of restrooms for everybody. Anyway, I mean, and we were there forever early, so we filmed.
Because it told us to get there like 3 hours early or something.
Yeah, you
do not get there 3 hours early.
So we did our filming. In the meantime, one of the security guys who does not speak any English is wearing a Georgia Bulldogs lanyard or whatever. His like ID and his security ID or whatever. It's on a lanyard, and then the little thing with the ID, the backside of the ID was Georgia Bulldog. So I'm over there, and I'm like, because I'm wearing a Georgia Bulldog shirt. Sam's wearing one now, but I was like, this. And he's looking at me like, what are you talking about? And so I kind of pick up his ID, and I'm like, the Bulldog. I got the Bulldog. I was like, let's take a picture. And he's like, whoa.
That guy did not fully appreciate
he had no idea what we were talking about.
So he probably found that lanyard somewhere and was just, okay, this is cheap.
Yeah.
So we're going through security, and the guy sees that we're American and we're flying domestic, and so he was just interested. So security guy is like, hey, where are you guys going today? San Juan. Sorry, where? San Juan. Where? San Juan? You mean San Juan.
Yes. He did.
That's exactly how that went. I was like, did I miss something? Didn't I just say San? No, you did not say San Juan. And then his next question. Why? It was like, who goes to San Juan?
We should have realized at that point that we were flying into the middle of nowhere. But we didn't. So we did our filming. Some guy came over and was asking us what we were doing. So I got to tell him about it. He was going to San Juan too. And he didn't understand San Juan. It was Juan. Anyway, so it's our time to get on the flight or whatever, and you walk out the door and you get on the bus. Like, all right, so you get on the bus, and the bus takes you to the plane, which is on the tarmac with stairs.
Yeah.
And so the exterior stairs. So you walk up the exterior stairs, and it was a decent sized plane, 3+3 or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be 737 late model.
I mean, no TVs or anything, but I mean, it was only an hour and 15-minute flight or something. Anyway, it wasn't a big deal, but we get on this plane, we fly into San Juan. We get off the plane in San Juan, and I think that the plane is bigger than the terminal.
I have pictures, and yes, that's 100% the fact. The plane is larger than the terminal building.
So you can literally watch the bags come off the plane and onto the conveyor belt, because it's just a small little U conveyor belt that takes them and makes them in a circle. You could literally watch them pull off the plane onto the little luggage cart thing. They didn't even, the stairs that they rolled up to the side of the plane, they did that by hand.
Yeah.
There was no tug. There was two dudes out there pushing it. Our bikes and luggage made it.
Made it just fine.
And so then we
So, international trip, I have rented a rental car. So we get there, and all right, well, I mean, it's a tiny airport, but there's actually 3 booths for rental cars. There's nobody there.
They're all closed.
Like, the computers are off. But not like everybody's, having a siesta or, lunch or whatever. there's no hope of anyone. Like, there's not like papers, pens. Like, they're there, and there's a computer terminal, but there's nothing.
People. Yeah.
Okay, so I look up my reservation. I was like, maybe I rented away from the airport. Huh. Very cool. We have a rental car waiting for us in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
So like, all right, what do we do? Because I mean, we have to get into the city and get around or whatever. Well, I mean, I guess we're taking a cab, and then we'll figure out if there's a rental car in the thing or whatever. And so
once again, we don't speak Spanish.
So we're out there, and I'm looking for a cab to hail. Well, apparently there's a lady with a list
and a clipboard.
So you have to go put your name on the clipboard, and then the next cab that comes. And so we were, of course, at the very end of the clipboard because everybody before us knew what was up and put their name on it. So these cabs are just coming, and we're sitting there going, and finally the cab comes.
So Billy's extremely expansive Spanish. Grande taxi? Oui, grande taxi?
I mean, we got these bike bags we got to fit in there.
See.
And so they're all the same size, and
everything's car. It's like a
grande,
like a Corolla. Yeah.
And so the cab drives up, and we're trying to figure out how we're gonna, we're looking at like how can we get both bikes, the luggage, and everything, and so we're gonna shove the bike. Anyway, we were going to put one bike on the inside, one bike in the trunk, Sam in the front, and me in the back with the bike, and the guy was like, no. No.
That actually translated perfectly to English. We understood exactly what he was saying.
Dos taxis.
Dos taxis.
Like, oh,
this time we ask how much, and they push the old meter button.
Yes. And so we're watching the money spin by, or I'm watching because I'm in a separate cab, and I'm like, I wonder how much this is going to be. It keeps spinning and keeps spinning, and I mean, it's spinning pretty fast. It has the number dot, kind of like we would have $1, 1.00 or whatever. Well, remember, their pesos are 115 to 1. Why they had the dot? I have no idea.
It was a waste of everybody's time.
I think it was going up like 4.23 every time. I don't remember what the number was, but it was. I mean, it was just spinning and spinning and spinning. Finally, we get to the place. And it was like, what, $10?
Yeah.
$11.
Yeah, $11 with the discount. Yeah, 1,500 pesos.
Okay. And we were like,
okay. I guess we could do 2 cabs.
No big deal.
Now we know.
So the lady comes out to meet us from the Airbnb, and she speaks no English, not even a tiny bit. And she wants to explain everything to us in detail in Spanish. And so there was a lot of see.
She's
see.
Sorry.
Turns out this was their house that they lived in. I don't know where they went, but they went somewhere and left us. I mean, the husband, wife, and 2 kids.
2 kids, yes.
Yeah, left the house and let us.
So husband is a touring musician. So he said he's always gone. So she and the kids went somewhere.
Maybe relative's house. I don't know. Anyway, it was fine with us. We got the whole lay of the place to us.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
2-bedroom, 1-bath, like house for $30 a night.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. San Juan might be in the middle of nowhere, but it is very affordable.
And, I mean, it was nice. I mean, it was what, 800, 600 square feet, 600, 700 square feet.
So she goes over. There's the washer. Here's the the lines. You hang and dry, and okay. So she leaves, and we have had one. There was airport soda. There was 1 bag of delicious breads. What else did we have to heat? Anything?
Coke. They had the dollar Coke at the airport.
Yeah, that was my airport soda.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I could eat a horse at that point. That steak had worn off. So I'm sure you were starving.
I don't even remember. I remember I was thirsty. I was really, really thirsty because they gave you like a little. I mean, Aerolitos Argentina hooked you up on the beverages with the little bitty clear cup.
To be fair, we've been on some of these where they were charging for that little bitty water.
That is true.
We got that going for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, So we're gonna go get something to eat, something to drink. Great. So she leaves. We go leave. All right. I've got the grocery store pulled up, and we walk up to it.
And it's closed.
Like not like a little closed. The shades were drawn over the doors. It was
like hurricane shutters or whatever.
Yes,
security doors. Or
yes.
whatever.
It was very closed.
And we were like,
maybe that's just an anomaly.
So we keep walking. Closed. San Juan goes on siesta.
From 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you are hungry or thirsty, I'm sorry.
You better go find a gas station. We finally did find a gas station, I think.
Yeah, but it was closed too by the time we got there.
So anyway, it was kind of a tough day.
So we assumed that everything was going to open after 6. So okay, we'll hit the grocery stores on the way. We go sign in for the race, and then go and have lunch at we found one restaurant open. Which
we did find the restaurant because did we get pizza?
We had pizza.
Okay. It was near the race check-in, and so we could see people sitting out there. We're like,
yes, there's a restaurant open because there was nothing open. So then we're headed back.
We ended up going. They were talking about the governor of San Juan and the minister of sport, and all this was going to be at this expo event or whatever. Like, all right, well, bet the race director will be there because the race director was not at check-in. And so we were going to try to find her.
And once again, excellent Spanish really helped with communication of we need to see the race director.
¿Está Carolina aquí?
Yeah.
Is Carolina here? So anyway, we get to I don't remember what we did. Did we take a nap or something and then go back to the expo? Or did we just go straight to we didn't go straight to the expo.
Yeah, I feel like we went back to the house, but I don't see how we did. I don't know. Apparently, sometimes stories just get fussy.
Yeah.
Whatever. Something happened. We wind up at the expo.
At some point where the expo.
There were some drinks. I don't know. The man just said, here, take this. It's fine.
So we asked these dudes that are talking to each other.
Ironman shirt on.
Yeah, Carolina. And we were trying to do our best in Spanish. And one guy says, "You looking for Carolina?" We're like, "Yes, we are." And he was like, "She's not here. Is there something that I can help you with?" And we're like, "Oh, we're trying to take a picture with her, and we're going to set a world record. We need to, we'll have some paperwork for her." And he was like, "Oh, I'm the person you need to talk to because I'm the announcer." And we're like, So Habu was his name, and he was awesome.
He was incredible. If you get the chance, say hi to Abu.
Yeah. So anyway, he took us around and we got to meet everybody, including the owner. Since this is a licensed race, there's the owner of the race, so we got to meet him. By the time we had left the expo, we were doing an interview for the Ironman Instagram page or whatever, and we're like, "Habu, you want to go get dinner with us?" I mean, we feel like this guy's taking care of us.
Yeah,
and he speaks English.
Yeah,
so maybe he can find us a dinner place that works or whatever. And he was like, "Yeah, well, are you certain?" Because he was there, his family was still at home. Are you sure? I'm like, "Yeah, we'll go to dinner. Let's go to dinner together." And you pick the place. He was like, "Where do you want to go?" We're like, "We don't care. You pick the place." Because we're like, we have no idea where anything's open.
We're hoping for like authentic San Juanian cuisine or Argentinian cuisine or whatever.
We wanted, whatever you wanted to eat. And so we start walking. And we're walking
It's
and walking.
dark. I feel like the thing started at like 5, and by this time it's 8 p.m.
Yeah. And by the time we finished, because we walked for 45 minutes.
Yeah, we actually sat down to eat at 9.
So we pick a restaurant, and Havu's like, "You there? Okay." We're like, "Yeah, that's fine. Let's eat there because my legs are. I'm falling. I'm famished. I'm parched. I need something." Right? And he was like, "Well, let's keep walking around, and we'll walk around the block and then come back." Walk around the block and come back, Havu? What are you talking about? And so we're walking, and he was like, "Oh, it's probably pretty late for y'all, isn't it? Or for you?" And we're like, whatever. We're not.
It was fantastic. He was an amazing conversationalist, and tons of subjects to talk about. We had a blast. but we were also hungry.
And so we walk around the block, and we come back to the same restaurant, and we go in, and it's like us and maybe one other person or whatever, one other group. And then within the next hour, it fills up. And I mean, we're talking and, eating, and, he pulls out magic stuff. He's a magician.
I would call him an amateur magician, but he did really well. So
I mean, he does
magic shows for money.
So he's a professional magician.
There you go.
So anyway, long story short, at some point in the conversation, 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
His kids call because they're fixing to go to bed.
I don't understand.
So the siesta happens from 2 to 6, I guess, and then everybody wakes back up and is doing stuff until midnight, and then goes to bed. By the time we were finished, we were exhausted.
Oh man, yeah. He was before he pulled out the magic. I was already starting to get, I was like, all right, we could go ahead and just start wrapping this up, and he pulls out magic tricks and does that for another 30 minutes. And eventually has the entire restaurant watching.
Everybody around us is all entertained.
It was very cool.
Yeah, we had an awesome time. We were tired.
Yeah.
But not so tired that we weren't. I mean, it was just kind of, anyway, it was good. It was, so finished that up, walked him back to his place, and we walked back to ours. I mean, everything really wasn't. We didn't really need a rental car.
We did not need a
rental car. Probably would have been a hassle.
We figured that out right after we got there, because there was we could have gotten a rental car, but yes, it would have been more work than it was worth.
Because I mean, you would have had to figure out places to park it, and there weren't very great places to park. So anyway, we go. So this was was the race a Saturday?
The race was
Sunday. So this was Friday. So
yeah.
It was 2 days before the race we're doing all this. Saturday, you got to put you get your gear together and put them in. We slept probably late, I'm assuming, and got our stuff together to get to transition, set all that stuff up. The race, you can see our race review for all the race stuff. And then after the race, what did we do after the race?
Not much.
We went out. That's where we saw the flea market, wasn't it?
That was where we saw the flea market. You're absolutely right.
So we go back we finish the race, go back, take a shower, and I'm like, all right, because we're leaving the next morning.
I know this story. I almost had barbecued Billy. So, Habu has told us that authentic Argentinian cuisine includes barbecue, which they call something else, barbacoa or
something. Yeah.
Something. So, let's have barbecue. It's like, man, none of the barbecue places open before 8 p.m. And we got to fly out tomorrow. And not early, but we got to fly out tomorrow. All right. So I find one that's 8 p.m. I was like, man, it's more than a mile away. And fortunately, we've only done a minor half Ironman before this. So
this is a one race weekend, man. It wasn't that big.
It's fine. Let's go. We could take a walk. So we're walking, and there's sticks involved. I think we actually had a troop of hobbits with us. There's something about a ring. I don't know. We walked forever. And we get there to the promised land, and it's closed. Son of a...
Now, who chose this restaurant?
It was definitely me.
Whose phone was it on?
That was definitely on mine.
So...
You chose the restaurant. Sorry, you chose the restaurant.
You gave me the option of that. Whatever. It was closed, and so we're sitting there kind of like,
oh man.
All right, what else is open?
Oh, because I mean we're constantly thirsty.
It's desert. It's very dry, very warm. We had the local pizza place the night before, or a local pizza place.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Hell's
Pizza.
Yeah. So they had the Obama was a pepperoni, and the Lincoln was cheese.
all of their pizzas were named after different presidents or whatever. It was anyway, and they only spoke Spanish too, and so we're telling them what we want, and they talk about he's saying something.
We swear it sounds like numero.
Numero,
something like that.
I don't know, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, we're like,
we don't have a number. We don't. There's no number.
Yeah. So anyway,
See,
we figured it out. He came out. We sat outside, and he came out to our table and said our.
Yeah.
He pointed to us and pointed to the pizza.
It was still, the sun was, low in the sky, but still in the sky. So we were the only people eating at that point. Like, I don't know why you needed any information because it's those guys.
Anyway, so this is the next night, and where did we? I don't even remember where we ended up eating.
Where did we eat? We passed by that place. We got to the Hell's Kitchen. It was the other bunch of Ironman people were there. We sat outside. It was like started with a J. Yes, it's like a Rockin' Burger or something.
Yeah, Johnny Rockets or.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever it was local.
Yeah, rock and roll hamburger place.
American dude.
Yeah. Well, it had barbacoa or whatever on the menu was what we were trying.
And it was
not.
No.
But whatever. It was fine.
So we spent all this time in Argentina and still never had the barbecue.
But you got some pesos you need to get rid of, so we got to go back down there.
Yeah, I got some pesos.
So I went to Wells Fargo and I was like, hey, do you guys do foreign currency? Yeah, sure, no problem. What do you have? I mean, the stack is this high because it's all $100 bills, but that's a penny.
Yeah.
Argentinian peso. She goes, Argentinian peso. Nope, we don't exchange that one. Probably because between the time you buy it and the time that you can get it back, you're losing money.
Yeah.
That's the lesson there.
So, finish that up. Next day, taxis. The Airbnb host had arranged taxis for us to get back to the airport.
We once again, we gave that was a 5-star host. We told her we needed to leave by 10:30, and we needed if you could help us get 2 taxis, that would just be supreme. She shows up at 10:20 with 2 taxis in tow, ready to rock. That was amazing.
So. Take taxis to the airport, and of course we're there early, and of course it's this tiny. I mean, we knew it was tiny.
Yeah.
And it had what they call it a drugstore, but like a candy. Not candy. It was. I mean, I guess it would have been a drugstore anyway.
I mean, imagine a phone booth with candy on the inside and the lady having a window. That's exactly because you could see everything that the store had, so you just pointed to whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they had gum, they had other stuff.
Yeah.
Antacids, or stuff that you would see in like a newsstand or whatever type.
Yeah.
But she could fit in this booth, and nobody else could fit in.
Yeah, and
it was just
she could turn around,
hand you stuff, and take money. Anyway, so we sat out there for a while until our plane.
Our Airbnb host had brought us once again breakfast breads.
Oh yeah, sure had.
Very nice.
Yeah, all those people were super nice in Argentina. Anyway, finally we decide, all right, well, let's go through security. So we go through security, and of course the terminal is full because there's 12 seats.
Yeah.
And 300 people getting on this plane. It wasn't 300, but it was 160.
I mean, it filled that plane.
And so I'm looking outside, and I'm like, I would notice if our plane was here.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else out here.
I can see the entire runway.
And our plane wasn't there. And did it end up taking off late? I mean,
it took off late.
Yeah. Anyway, so we sat there. And we found there were some Ironman staff there that we got to talk to for a while. So
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a good time with them. Same deal in opposite where you walk up the stairs on the outside. You get on the plane. Take the plane to Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires, you get off the plane and onto this bus. And the bus drives 12 feet to the terminal. I mean, it was really 12 feet. In fact,
what just happened
there was a painted crosswalk that you could have just walked across the street.
We're going to say,
but I don't know. They put us on the bus, and we're like, oh, okay, we're fixing to drop somewhere. They take us back to the exact same terminal. And
so the terminal that we left from
that has the 4 gates or whatever, and so you get out of that and you go through. And we're like, okay, well let's go ahead, because this was Terminal C and there was also a Terminal A. We're like, for sure we're flying out of Terminal A, because I think that's where we flew into was Terminal A. I don't know.
Yes, we flew into A.
Okay, so and A must have everything, all the lounges, all the cool stuff. A must be the deal.
Glorious.
So we walk out, and there's you could walk to Terminal A, but we're like, well, I don't remember what we did. We went back inside to look to see where our flight was or how we. Anyway, our flight's leaving out of sea.
Come on, man.
Wait a minute,
it gets
what?
worse.
Our flight is leaving out of sea. Oh, can we go to a lounge in A or something? No. All the lounges on the other side of security, and you have to be ticketed to be able to get on the other side of security. Fine. Where do we go to get ticketed? Well, the Delta people, with their one flight a day, will be here 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
4 hours.
Was it 4 hours before the flight? We were going to fix and to sit in that terminal for 3 or 4 hours.
For 4 hours, yes. There was an 8-hour delay from the time that we arrived to the time that we were leaving. And, I mean, we knew that when we signed up for this. But
what?
We had assumed that we could spend those 8 hours
in a lounge.
In a lounge, no big deal.
So you can't get to the lounge, just goes on the other side of security. And then we're like, well, we're in this sea, which has these 4 gates and nothing else. It's even after we get through security, we're just going to be sitting there doing nothing. So it's going to be a rough day. So we're sitting around. I don't even remember. We were just doing stuff, homework or whatever, for the 4 hours. And
they had Wi-Fi. So
they did. And it was free Wi-Fi. Finally, the Delta people show up. And so we get in line, and we had to do an exit visa, so that guy was super nice to explain how to do that, because everybody was having to do that.
Here, let me see your phone. Here you go. He was hooking us up.
Yeah, he was awesome. We got through the thing, and he's like, he said, there's a lounge, after you exit security, go up the escalator, and the lounge is right there. And we're like, how did we not know about this lounge the day before, 2 days before, or whatever?
We were here forever.
Yeah, and so anyway, so
this time we're back at security. We went left last time.
We go to the exact same security door.
Yeah. And
he looks at our ticket, and instead of going left, he points us to the right. And we're like, okay, whatever. It's the same security door. We go through, and it had similar looking security. Of course, these guys had like passport stamp people or whatever. They had like a little booths, which was a little bit different. Go through security. And sure enough, there's an escalator, and you go up the escalator, and you're in this.
There was like
really nice, modern,
angelic voices actually came out of the walls. Yeah, wood paneling
terminal that had all of these nice gates and these nice shops and these nice restaurants and these lounges. There was even an Amex Centurion.
There was a Centurion lounge there.
What in the world?
Imagine they spent $100 million on this terminal. They spent $999,500,000 on the top floor, and then whatever was left over was what they used for downstairs.
I loved your math, man.
Yeah,
$100 million, $999 million.
Yeah, they were spending. So it's a solid government project. But yes.
Well, it was the $100 million, and there's 999 million pesos on the top.
There you go. Yeah, there's some graft there. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. Yes, 99.999% of the money spent on the terminal was spent upstairs. Hi, thanks for coming to our country. We really appreciate it. Thanks for flying within our country. Screw you.
It was night and day difference.
Amazing.
Yeah. So. Yeah, much better experience waiting on the plane.
That's so much nicer. There's food. I don't know. The lounges just make the whole thing. Because they're free. I mean, they're not free because we've technically paid for it, but it's all you can eat and drink and whatever, and you don't have to pay any more than your annual fees. So there were hamburgers, and we were hungry was part of the problem.
So we went to the Centurion Lounge because there's not. We can always go to the Sky Clubs. There's not as many Centurion lounges. This one, we're like, all right, we'll try the Centurion first, and then we'll go to the Sky Club later. We go to Centurion, and they seat you, and they're like, well, it's not grab and go. We'll bring you whatever you want. You order, you scanned the thing, you had a menu, you pressed what you wanted to order, and then they brought it to you. And you could order as many times as you wanted, and we did.
Yeah. How was your time?
The race.
This was after the race. Yeah. They had these little ice cream sandwich things, and I kept trying to get the one that had the crunchy stuff in the middle, so I kept ordering every single one. And I never did get the one with the crunchy stuff in the middle.
I got in trouble because I went over and just grabbed. There was a refrigerator door, and it was right there, and I was like, I want that one.
Yeah, I never could figure out how to get that one other than going to the refrigerator and getting it yourself. Anyway, much better experience leaving.
Oh man! So then we flew out. I don't know what were we, Comfort Plus on the way home.
Yeah. It's fine. I was tired. I think I slept some.
So finally got some sleep.
Yeah.
So successful trip to Argentina.
Yeah. Blast. We'll really have to go back. I mean, super cheap. Make sure you take American cash. They love that. Havu was the one that told us about the blue rate.
That was where we learned everything.
So when we're we're learning all the history of Argentina, and then we're at the table and he's talking about the blue rate, and we're like, oh, we thought the hotel was making a mistake. And he was like, no.
You guys were actually getting screwed.
Yeah.
There we go.
So anyway, that was, thank you, Havu.
Everybody was happy. So, yeah, Havu was awesome. Please say hello if you see him around races. Argentina's highly recommended. We had a great time. We'll definitely be back. So stay tuned for next time where we go to Ocala, the exciting destination of Ocala and Galveston.
Yeah.
So kind of like Orlando of Orlando and the old Orlando of Texas, really. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.